Welcome back to the Winning Moments. It's our third episode. I'm really happy to be here with you guys. We have a lot to cover. It's been a lot of basketball, so we're going to jump right into it. But before we get started, Coach Ward, who has a memory like an elephant and draws names like crazy to me that I don't even know what he's saying. He has something he'd like to say, so we're going to pass it to him before we get to the past week headlines. Coach?
Yes. Well, I made a mistake last week with Jordan Smith Jr., the young man who's an outstanding player from PVI in Chantilly, Virginia. Jordan Smith Jr. was a player that's going to be a one-and-done kid. Want to just remind people that he's played for us in the FIBA U19, FIBA U17, back-to-back 2024, 2025 gold medalist, and going to be a great player. And I just want to make sure that it wasn't Jerome Smith, like I said.
No, you never repeat the mistake.
It was
you don't do
Jordan.
No, you make a mistake.
Okay.
And you mess up a name. You don't repeat the mistake.
Got it.
That's what you just let it go. That's what you learn. I learned the newspaper
So-
business when I first started. I wrote like a correction one time, and I repeated like, "Here's what we did wrong," and here's what. And they're like, no, you don't do that.
No, all right.
We'll move on.
Jordan Smith Jr.
Jordan Smith, yes.
Just want to make sure I got the right name and a great player. So just want to make that correction.
Great.
And that's why we got Kevin here to make sure that we teach everybody about journalism 101
I just
and not
learned a
make the same
valuable
mistake.
lesson. I just learned a valuable
And on that
lesson.
note, Kevin, why don't we talk about the past week headlines?
Yeah, I never make mistakes, so we'll just fly here. It's funny. I'm like the type. My daughter said to me, they're like, "Dad, I read your tweet. You have a lot of typos in your tweets." I'm like, yeah, no one cares. It's all good, man. It's all good. Don't worry about typos, David. It's all good. We're talking about show number 3. We've made it this far, and we really haven't talked about, and I'm going to throw it out there, Albertus Magnus Girls. We kind of like take for granted, 2-time defending state champions, Julia Scott going to Clemson. Maybe the top ranked 39th in the country. I like to see the other 38 ahead of her because I don't know if there's a more complete player that I've seen in high school basketball in this area. Even like the Sanaya Chungs and the other girls at Austin that they've had, Aubrey Griffin, Corey Chambers, go back to those days. She's as all-around complete 6'3" player. And really what's impressive is, they're 3-1. 2 of their wins were against North Rockland, where they beat by 40. They beat Arlington pretty handily. But I think we're sort of like, I just don't want people to take for granted how great they are on the national stage. They almost beat Bishop McNamara this past week, lose that game by 3. They had a chance. They leading the entire way, and McNamara found a way in the end.
Out of Maryland, right?
Out of Maryland,
Kevin?
yeah. Julia Scott had 21 points. She had 33 in the win and 18 rebounds against Arlington. Would you expect her to do that against Section 1? But then they beat Heritage before that out of Virginia. She had 28 points, and that was the defending state champions of Virginia. So it says a lot. So my thing is, I said, we've gotten into this basketball season, and we forget, like, oh yeah, Albertus Magnus is still like elite level great. Like, I don't know if they're as good on the nationals. Maybe they are. You could say that them and Stepanak are basically equivalent on where they are on the national level for boys and girls.
I think they're right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we fail to remember, because we know him personally, Pat Buckley is an outstanding basketball coach.
Yeah.
And I think people that know the game of basketball in our area appreciate what he does. Mm-hmm. But he's an outstanding coach with a local address.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
No, totally. And they've been sensational so far. They're going to play Christ the King. They have a couple more national opponents now. They are locked into their Section 1 schedule, their non-league schedule. I mean, they're facing Austin, they're facing Rye, they're facing John Jay's Fishkill, but they have a date with Christ the King and Big O from the city.
Oh wow, okay,
That's a good one.
That's like game of the decade type level.
Abs-
They got beat up in that game last year at the Slam Dunk. They're playing them again at Slam Dunk. So at the County Center, you get to watch 2 of the most highly acclaimed teams in the country, most highly recruited players in the country, and that game is part of the Saturday schedule at Slam Dunk.
Kevin, real quick, I have a quick question about Julia.
Mm-hmm.
How is she shooting the ball from the arc now a little bit, or is she still a mid-post face, put it on the floor in a high post
She's
flasher?
sort of like I'll do whatever I want player
Okay.
right now, which
Okay.
is really like, it's hard because I think she has different ability, different styles, but she can go into a Section 1 game and just dominate the post, or take defenders out and then go by them.
Right.
But she is getting there with a 3-point shot.
Okay.
But she relentless worker. One of the hardest working athletes I think I've ever been around, and just understands the game and wants to be great. And emotion does not factor in for her. I mean, she is
she plays
as mentally
steady.
focused and steady in a game any player. She's very demanding of her teammates. But she is someone who gets, I mean, the group around her, Sarah Nejai, Maddie Zuppi, they're like the perfect complement for her because they know, we're here to win, and things have to go through Julia first. And then when it comes back to us, we got to be ready. And they both they're excellent with it.
Kevin, when is that game? The slam dunk game?
That's on the January 3rd. So that game's at the Westchester County Center. Opportunity to go see, as we said, just 2 nationally ranked teams. I think Crescent King is the better team. Albertus, though, this is probably the biggest game maybe Albertus Magnus Girls hoops will ever play. That's not overstating it. In their all their history, that will be the biggest game they ever play.
And it's a measuring stick for that team.
Yeah, and they want it. They want to beat the team because there's no federation. This is a state championship game in January for them. So that's how they're viewing it. That was a weird game last year. Pat Buckley. It all comes back to me though. That was a game he got like a technical foul in the first 2 minutes, and he didn't understand why, and he he admits it. He kind of lost his mind a little bit. I was this far away from him, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm broadcasting. I want to take the headset off and be like, hey, coach. And then I think he learned from it, and he will go into that game a little different. But, so they've been obviously terrific. By far the best team in Section 1. It's not really a battle. We do have another team we're going to talk about later in the show that by March could be a little scary for Albertus. But then we go back to the boys' side. We mentioned Stepanak. They get all the attention, right? All the attention for the private schools. Iona Prep 6-0. And that's good. That's great for Westchester basketball. And it also says a lot when you consider what Iona Prep's headlines were in the offseason. This kid left, that kid left, this kid transferred out, this kid's going back to his home district. They had 4 kids, 4 prominent kids, one of which we're going to talk about later in the show, leave the program just for different reasons. Some felt like they weren't, they weren't getting the opportunity Iona Prep they wanted. You talked to Coach Tim Phil. And,
I spoke to him at length last night.
Talk about a guy who's going to coach the players in front of him and coach them well. And there they are undefeated. Going into tonight's game against Cardinal Hayes, which would be tough. They have Zavarian on Sunday. But he feels good.
He feels really good, Kevin. I spoke to him last night. Mm-hmm. First of all, he's got a great staff.
Yeah.
Joe Ciricella.
Yeah.
Ted Reaper comes over from your home district.
Yeah, yeah.
To be at Iona. So he's got a tremendous staff.
And Bill Murphy's the JV coach.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah. So, and Coach Murphy. So, John, he's got a tremendous staff on varsity. He runs great stuff. Mm-hmm. He doesn't worry about who's not there. He coaches who's in the gym. Mm-hmm. He's got, the Wolves. He's got Mike Kometz. He's got Elijah Joseph, the 6'10 kid who's got a lot of promise. I'm excited to see Tommy Wolf, who's averaging 20 for him, all-around scorer, can do it all. He's got 7 lefties on the team.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
I
nice.
mean, for a left-handed guy, I love that.
What does that mean? Or lefties have a disadvantage in basketball?
No, I love lefties. I love lefties. Okay. And he's got Joe Wolf, senior, 6'1", Dylan Moulage.
Yeah,
6'9", 350. He's going to be a power 4 offensive tackle. He'll go to Alabama.
Only a sophomore from Yorktown.
Yeah.
Played in the football team. Just terrific.
And
6'9".
Silvio's done a great job with him as well as the staff. They do a great job. He plays for Silvio and AAU. They're really, really good. I'm excited to watch them play over the holiday. He likes his team, and they're 6-0.
He should like his team because they're very coachable. That's the thing. So yes, Dylan Callahan, Ray Fernandez, those guys transfer, go to prep schools, and they leave. And I don't know if they stay. They're going to challenge Stepanak in ways that Stepanak doesn't really get challenged. All that, be physical with them, and they're not going to be afraid of them. They want to match up with them. So those guys are gone. But he's done a great job of molding this team into what that group was.
Absolutely.
And with those players gone.
He has great chemistry.
January 3rd at the Westchester County Center, Iona Prep Stepanak. So you're going to come for the morning and stay for the evening and get to watch
basketball.
a whole weekend of great games.
And I'm going to say this. He's got a kid, JT Lindy, who's a Franklin and Marshall football commit. He's their true point guard.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see Stepanak play them with a true floor leader. And then he's got the kid off the bench, Chase Robinson, another lefty.
Yeah.
So
it's a little like Hollywood ver's Hoosiers here. It really is. It's going to be Stepanak's all the headlines, social media. And Darius Ratliff last night, they playing down the city of Palms. He goes for 19-5. You would think he scored 65 points in the game because everywhere on social media they're blowing up Darius Ratliff, 7-footer, going to USC, and Stepanak gets headline after headline after headline, and it's like Iona Prep still not don't count them out just yet. It's gonna be interesting.
Coach Phillip likes his group a
Yep,
lot.
I agree.
Well, I think something that you said, Coach, about coaching the players that he has, and you said it before, Kevin, to another coach friend of ours, where it's like, listen, coaches coach for the season, and you got to make the adjustments from injuries and so forth.
Yeah.
And changing how you coach for the players you have there is so important. And I think that's something that gets lost in the.
I agree.
Yeah,
the
I bet you
mindset.
Iona Prep's loving this whole like under the radar thing that we just kind of brought them up a little bit here on their show. But I was just like, man, they are good. I watched them play Malloy this past week on Tuesday, and I'm like, they just run good stuff.
They run good stuff.
They're everything to every possession.
He does.
Yeah, so it's impressive.
And he said we've made a change in how we play. Talking about making a change in how you play with your personnel. Real quick, he said we shot a lot of threes last year, and we kind of felt like we got away from attacking the rim. They're focused on attacking the rim this year, getting to the free throw line. But if we get a paint touch and a kick out on a clean 3-point look, Kevin, they're going to shoot it.
Yeah.
But they're really focusing on getting to the foul line.
They're a very athletic team. Obviously, multi-sport players.
Absolutely.
Football players.
He's got a lot of multi-sport guys.
Take advantage of that. So.
Yep. So we have any other
A
headlines to talk about?
lot of the bigger headlines of the week we're going to get into in our next segments. Mamaroneck beating Ursuline for the first time ever
What?
in girls basketball.
That
pretty
happened?
impressive. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
impressive. We have some clips of that, and good from Mamaroneck coming off a tough loss. But I will say, like we got a lot of things right last week. We talked about Nyack. They go and beat Mamaroneck, and we talked about a lot of other things. We kind of not that we're going to go back and start patting ourselves in the back, but we foreshadowed some big things
That's
this past
awesome.
week.
Good.
Yep.
I mean, listen, we're gonna have to talk about changing your name to the Swami.
Yeah.
Okay, you're pretty on
Absolutely.
point there. So actually, you said something that ties into our next segment, the hot take of the week, which is all about social media and how social media affects high school sports, recruiting, money. College sports is now money. It's not just about scholarships. It's about NIL and the ability to have more followings. And talking about Stepanek getting all of the social media.
Yeah.
Like you said, 19-5. You thought you dropped 65 points because all over social media.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about social media and high school sports and how it's changed the game, especially with NIL and recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, so there's so much about social media. I used to do social media discussions for schools. I used to go in and talk about that. And really what I did was I would go there for an hour and scare the hell out of people with stories and anecdotes. And here's how this kid lost his scholarship. Here's how this kid got suspended. Here's why this kid got in trouble. And then I sort of took a step back and said, I'm making it seem like all social media is evil. Now, there are things on social media that I don't love. I'm not a huge Snapchat guy. I have a 12-year-old oldest daughter, and we've talked about Snapchat privately as parents. I don't love it, but social media, it all kind of goes under one blanket. Whereas a large part of that is for positive, and it's for good use, right? So it's for the positive promotion of athletics. It's also for revenue. I mean, Boogie Flan really was the one at Stepanek who really changed my perspective in terms of using your social media to show you are a good kid and you are marketable and you are going to be someone who a college would want. Yes, because you have a great jump shot and you can handle the ball, but like you're also going to come on campus and represent a school in a positive way. And that was a window into his recruiting that made him so much more attractive. He's actually struggling a little bit as a basketball player right now at Florida, but he's not struggling social media-wise because everyone loves him. People love him. He's marketable for his school.
I think that's important. I think I heard a story the other day where a guy used a magazine. He worked for this magazine company where they print custom magazines. And he sent a magazine where they had QR codes throughout the magazine to all coaches that he wanted his son to go to the school. He was a track kid. And the coaches would scan the magazine and see a highlight reel of his son instead of sending videos and so forth. And it was just hit me like, okay, you need a unique way to stand out.
Yeah.
And to your point about social media is I don't believe people are just looking for the basketball player or the athlete. They need to know, are you going to be a head case? Are you going to represent the school as well? Like it's still a school and they have their name brand, which is more important than any player. But that's a great way to talk about how to use it in a positive way.
And it's an indicator. It's an indicator of personality. It's an indicator of interest. You can go on a kid's social media. I know coaches, college coaches that go on social media to see who they follow, what they're interested in. It's
what their priority.
It's a little bit of priority. It's they look at timestamps of when things are posted or things are shared. Are they sharing stuff at 2 a.m? Do they have good sleeping habits? Right. So like all this stuff factors. Right. It all kind of like works together. A good friend of mine, Doug Phillis, who started a company called Accelerate Sports Ventures, which was a NIL company before NIL was even legal. So he foresaw this was happening, and his phrase was, "You are your own brand." right? So athletes are their own brand. They have the ability to market themselves. And he said one day soon, this was 2015, they're going to be able to profit off this because there's no way they can't profit off this. And he was totally right. And now he has positioned himself and his company and the athletes he works with to be their own brand. And it's a great lesson. And I think that it's something that even athletes who don't go to Stepanak, who go to smaller public high schools, have to sort of evaluate this and this concept and apply it maybe on their smaller scale of, they want to go Division III or they want to just get into a college, because this isn't just marketability for athletics. It's really for everything.
For everything. You know what? You bring up a really good point where if there was, you're talking about going in to scare them about social media, now there should be a class of like, hey, how do athletes, how do students use social media to put themselves out there? Like I saw this the first time with the Ellis brothers when Sebastian was playing for your team. This was Eli Ellis at the time. We were in Pittsburgh and we were at the convention center. So there's, 40, 60 courts. It's insane how they convert a convention center with some tape and make it a basketball gym.
You know how they do it? They charge you $30.
Yeah.
A game.
Well, it's
better believe it.
Yeah. That's if you prepay. It's like 50 if you pay at the door.
Yeah.
But Eli, who at this point had over 1 million TikTok followers, I had no idea who Eli was at all. He has now 706,000 Instagram followers. He basically shut down the gym. I asked Sebastian and the kids, where are you guys going between games? Oh, we're going to watch Eli play. And I'm like, who's Eli? Eli Ellis. And I'm like, okay, what about him? What do you like about his game? Well, he's got 1 million plus TikTok followers.
That's all that matters.
When I tell you guys that the court was the court, there was 6, 7 players deep, all right? And listen, I'm not a tall guy, but I'm also not a midget. I couldn't see them watching there. I can only see the dunks happening that were coming over the rim to watch it, right? Or the ball over the rim. Because there was 7 people deep to watch this game. Not just because it was basketball, but the kids were there to watch Eli as a celebrity. And now
for the event. For the event.
Yeah. And his younger brother, who is killing it, he's got 426,000, Isaac, on Instagram. And I give Eli a ton of credit. To me, he was like at least a trendsetter in the kids' world, in the teenage world, where he showed them that, listen, guys, you want to get noticed, not just about your game, but elevate that across social media. And he put a good brand out there, to your friend's credit. He put a good brand out there, and it's amazing. There should be a class to teach kids how to do that.
No, absolutely. And I think parents are responsible a little bit in some ways. As somebody who, films and videos all my daughter's basketball, and I do it for this parental nostalgia is what I do it for, not for marketability.
Do it for posterity.
Yeah,
reasons.
I do it because, I never know when the last basket's going to be, right? You never
Correct.
know.
You
never
don't.
know. And the other thing is, I do it because I have other parents say to me, hey, do you have this video my daughter scored? I wasn't filming. I'm like, yeah, I've got it all, So, but I could see how if talent ever, exceeded what Devaney genetics probably are, it's going to limit her to, that it could be a marketable trait. Yes.
Listen, I've seen the videos of your daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, and I do know
she's doing fine.
She is, and I do know who her player development coach is.
Yes, yeah.
I think she has a very bright future. I mean, now we know not to give the credit to the Devaney genes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll give the credit to her and to her coaches. But yeah, so Coach, you've been doing this pre and post social media, okay, all over the country with Chris Ward basketball, taking young kids to AAU tournaments. I mean, listen, your program has been long and very well known. Right. How did you handle social media as it transformed? And how do you handle it today?
Honestly, I don't think we did as good a job as we needed to do from a social media aspect. We wanted to make sure that our kids, had a chance to just go out and be exposed to the coaches. I don't think we did as good a job as we needed to do with promoting them. I did the old-fashioned way. I called college coaches.
Yeah,
they came to see the kids play. We were very limited in our social media footprint, but I've seen how it works. Would I do it differently now? Of course, because you have to.
Yeah,
it's when I got off the road in 23. You just knew that you had to do it a different way. And that's what I did. I mean, we used it when we needed to send clips to college coaches. Mm-hmm. So if we sent clips or game or a highlight, we did it that way. But we didn't do it the way that the Ellises are doing at some of the other AAU programs.
Yeah, well, listen, that's a very interesting point. And Kevin, being a reporter and everywhere, for that matter. Do you think it's now a coach's responsibility or a team's responsibility to start implementing social media into their
program's
world?
responsibility?
Right.
Someone within the program. It can't be the coach, right? The coach is coaching the game.
Fair.
He's trying to develop skills and stuff. So like it's almost like a business adding a new little division to it. I think every AAU program or school program needs somebody, and a lot of times these people are right in front of you. I mean, I look at like Rye High School in all their athletics. They have a student who pretty much runs social media and handles this stuff. Sometimes it's the player. Sometimes it's someone who's just friends with the players and likes it, has the talent to do it. But yeah, I think it's pretty vital part of I think it's just. I also think it's just like a vital part of the experience of being a high school athlete. Something to kind of look back on.
I agree,
and
Kevin.
you know,
John,
you feel like the
agree.
attention is there.
I completely agree. And listen, John Aguilera, good friend of yours, and Coach Sebastian, they use our technology to let the parents do that too, right?
Yeah.
Let them help that out. And we're getting a tremendous amount of DMs and questions about, or just being sent to us like, hey, here's the game day poster. Or,
Yeah.
hey, listen, last night, here's a video of this player scoring this so we can promote it.
Yeah.
We all have phones in these stands, right? Like, I try to make sure I watch the game because Sebastian's last season. But all these parents have phones. The kids are there having phones. The kids, to your point, the kids that are there cheering, they should have a dedicated person because it doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be capture that moment.
Yeah, some
and then,
of us
then do
have
it.
phones. Some of us also have cameras that we put on the walls. That
Yeah.
we sell to schools.
Yeah,
schools
yes,
and we could use
yes.
those clips as well.
So what you're saying is, if the school has Sports Engine,
Yes,
then here we
It's
can
great.
help
We have
them
all
cut the
all
clips.
tools on the site to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you heard it here first. Get the kids and get Sports Engine. So this way, well, listen, if you get Sports Engine for your school, we'll help you do the clips in a personal one-on-one training. Kevin will dedicate that time for that.
Sure.
All right. And then after that, you know, fish for yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think to end this segment, I think it's really important for kids to understand how to manage social media now.
I agree.
Right? And I think Snapchat is different because Snapchat has become like the text messaging of,
not a
of
permanent,
whatever.
not a permanent thing. Yeah.
No, but Instagram and TikTok, the two main forums that I think people are watching. And you said something really interesting, like follow your coaches. Follow the college coaches that you might want to go to college to or emulate. Follow the players that are doing it right. And
It's what I call the digital handshake now.
Yes.
If your coach, if a coach comes to see you and see you play and is recruiting you, you very easily make your relationship made by following them
Through
and
social
showing
media.
interest to them.
Yeah.
Looking them in the eye and shaking their hands digitally is how you do that.
We've never been so accessible. I remember the story you told about Bobby Hurley, right?
Yeah.
About getting coached. Like you actually called his
Bob
job.
Hurley Sr.
Right. You called his job through the yellow pages. Right now, to your point, everyone is open to receiving that message.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, use it.
If I were to start now an AAU program like we did from the ground up, we would have to have a social media presence. It would be a non-negotiable.
I agree.
It'd be
I
a
agree.
non-negotiable.
Yeah, you need that.
I've seen some programs where they have much better social media presence than they have basketball players. So sometimes they got to build one and help build the other. Uniforms.
I would prefer.
Yeah.
I would prefer to have better players and a better social media presence.
And
We'll call it old school.
We got lucky.
we'll move on
Very
before we
fortunate.
ask Kevin the names of those programs and put him on the hot seat. So listen, we'll keep you off the hot seat this time, but going into next year, we might have to put you back on there. So now we're going to turn to a segment that we are really excited about and we continue to push because I think it's great for the kids. And Kevin does an amazing job putting this together. So Kevin, why don't we start with Players of the Week?
Boys side, players of the week. We talked about players who were at Iona and transferred and are doing big things. Connor Morehart from Yorktown, right? So Connor Morehart, met him at Media Day, and I knew what Yorktown had coming back, the group, the nice team, obviously losing Kaden Gonzalez and the big man Duffy. And, I said, they're going to be okay. They're actually more than okay. I think they might be as good as last year's team, if not better, which is a team that was in a very crowded Class AA field. But this year, Connor Morehart is maybe going to be the player that kind of puts them over the top. He had 25 points in a win over Brewster on Wednesday, 34 points against Carmel on Monday. He's averaging 21 points, 6 rebounds for a Yorktown team coach that is 4-0. Yorktown's a factor. As I said, sometimes people like myself think about just who graduated, and you think, well, they're going to have to take a step backwards. But this Morehart player Connor Morehart is a terrific shooter, and I think it's so hard, right? So he grows up in Yorktown. He leaves for Iona Prep. He comes back for his senior season, and you worry about does he get reacclimated? How does this all work?
Right.
But when I was there that day for media day, and I'm talking to him and the other players on the team. You got the sense they were happy he was back. That he's going to make a difference, and he has.
John, Kevin, you're talking about Coach Pavella, Coach Nardone. They do a great job of bringing their guys together.
Yeah.
And they seem to have a real understanding of what they are, and they have an identity. And Connor got plugged into a perfect situation where they needed really a lead scorer, John.
Yeah.
They needed a guy that could really help Caden and complement compliment. So you've got that now, but you've got a 1-1A situation now. He also plays for Coach Jared Jones and Coach Ryan Sawyer, DTE, Dream Team Elite. He's got a lot of experience and a lot of reps, which I think helped him get ready for his senior year, because I don't think he was getting as many reps as Iona Prep prior to him getting there.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah,
and
he's grown as a player. He's obviously he's been terrific. So
I mean, listen, he's balling out. He's almost averaging a double-double.
Yeah, no, and I think he's only going to get better. I think his numbers are going to go up. I think as he kind of gets himself a little more reestablished. I don't say established, reestablished with the players he grew up playing with. It's gonna be a big factor.
Absolutely.
Guy doesn't worry about getting established is our next player of the week, Marcus Jaquette of Westlake. And really, what Marcus Jaquette was, he's always been a great scorer. And what you're seeing now is just how great he's become defensively. Turn the ball over against Ardsley like it was nothing. The way he was playing passing lanes, on the ball defense, anticipation. He just looks like a guy right now who everyone's playing at one speed. He's just at a totally different speed. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 6 steals against Obama on Tuesday. Nice win over that team. 19 points against Croton again in very limited time. And then 29, 9 assists, 9 steals, 8 rebounds against Pleasantville. Westlake's 5-0. They're playing really, really good basketball. And in Class A, we're going to talk all year about Class A and how, Pearl River and Tappan Zee, but Westlake's right there. And they kind of feel like, we're a small school playing up in Class A. They're more than capable of competing with those teams.
Chad Charney, his father, Jeff, legendary Section 1 coach, have done a fantastic job of creating a standard and culture, John, over there, where football has basically ruled until they got there. And now basketball has become very important. They've got a really good player, and Marcus Jaquette comes from a great basketball family in Thornwood, New York, Hawthorne, New York, the greater Hawthorne-Thornwood area. And lefty, it's like a lefty show today.
It's like a lefty show.
Another left-hander who can really play, and he's a college-level player. I'm looking forward to seeing them play over the holiday.
I'm glad you said football, and I'm smiling because I know Westlake pretty well. I played basketball with the dad. Braden Legaines last year. He was there, and I got to see Marcus. Marcus turned down the starting position as the quarterback to focus on basketball, which is unheard of in that particular school.
In that
right?
school,
so he turned
correct.
that down. And on media day, speaking about media day, he did the interview. I actually got to do the questions for him. And I was like, all right, here's how we're going to start it off. You can basically say your name, your school, your grade, your position. If you want, you can say guard, dominant guard, or something like that. He was the only player that literally said dominant guard. Everyone was like, I'm John Lim. I'm from Blindbrook. I'm a senior. My position is I play forward. His swagger, dominant guard.
And
I love this kid.
And he had some comments that he made when you interviewed him that showed that he has an edge, because there was a couple comments he made where there's some things that he wants to take care of personally on a basketball court. With. You know what I'm saying? With
chance to become the school's all-time leading scorer.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
And he feels like there's some payback that he wants to get, because he said, I saw the interview. And it was interesting.
Westlake's going to be an interesting team down the stretch, especially because when you face them against the Rockland teams like TZ and Pearl River, you got to have an edge. You can't get pushed around in those games.
You better believe that.
Westlake's, as I said, is going to be in the mix.
That kid's got swagger.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
And let me backtrack for a second. Connor Morehart, a college-level player, Kev.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. And so is this guy, Kevin Kendall from Byram Hill. So they're the 2-time defending Class A champions. I'm not even mentioning them as a team. I went and watched them yesterday. I knew we talked about Kevin Kendall, I think, on our first show about how great he was in the offseason. He comes back from last year. He was like the 6th man last year of a team that went to the state Final Four. And we thought he could grow into being like the lead player, the lead star on their team. And I'll tell you, he might be one of the lead stars in Section 1 because he is all around basketball-wise, just like his sense on the court is off the charts. Last night against Bronxville, I'm there, and I'm like, man, it's like men against boys right now. I mean, that's how good he was. He goes for 21 points in limited time, didn't really play in the second half all that much, and just did it, Coach, scoring all over the court. I mean, we see so many players that, they score 25 points, a lot of layups, a lot of free throws, maybe, but he is everywhere. He scores every part of the court.
So I saw him as a sophomore. John Lim, Kevin, played for Coach Ripa as a sophomore. Very uncertain, came on the floor, kind of tried to figure it out. From where he was as a sophomore to where he is now, the improvement is absolutely astounding. Yeah. And what he's turning into is incredible. Credit to Coach Ripa. He's also a DTE kid as well. Yeah. Coach Sawyer, Coach Jones. And they've helped in his development along with Coach Ripa. So it's a community thing. But he can play. And he comes from great stock. Coach Malone, the former coach of the Denver Nuggets, is his what, Kevin?
Uncle.
His uncle.
Yeah.
So he comes from great stock.
Yeah.
And he's a basketball...
Big, strong kid. I mean, he's a big physical, big body kid.
And John, he was like thin 2 years ago, thin, skinny sophomore.
I remember because he played on the same team. He played
he played last year. Chris Ward, we were on the road. Absolutely.
And he was terrific in that game last night. 21 points. He had 8 threes to open the season against Pelham.
Wow.
So he's a very gifted shooter. But man, last night just getting on transition. He has the play where he blocks a shot, leads the transition. Very unselfish player, very heady player, and great. Coach James Morales in his first season. Some people at Byron Hills last night said that he may have figured out a way to unlock him, which I think is just more minutes. Really, is what he needed.
But I'm going to say this about Kevin too. We got a sample size, John and Kevin, of what he could do up at the Final Four.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, he made that ridiculous three-quarter court shot at the buzzer.
Well, but I think he had like 16 or 18.
Yeah, no, he did. No. He continued to come of age last year.
Yeah.
But so then now we're looking at this, and there's some other teams we're going to talk about, Somers, but Class A is clearly the most wide open class. And I said Pearl River at the beginning of the season, but right now they're going to have a lot of competition because TZ's playing good basketball. Byram Hills is don't write them off as 2-time champions, just because of what they lost from last year. They're going to be right there.
Absolutely.
All right, so it's the hard part now. You got to pick one, Kevin. Who out of these 3 young men is your player of the week?
I love Kevin Kendall. Jaquette is been doing this for so long, but to me, Kevin Kendall, because of the element of just how much he's improved as a player, how hard he works. They all work hard, obviously, everybody. But to me, Kevin Kendall has been the guy who identified in the preseason as someone who could have a big year, and he's had 4 or 5 just off the charts games to start.
Okay.
All right, Coach.
I think Marcus Jaquette, we're going to revisit him as for a player of the week. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Connor Morehart out of Yorktown. I don't think anybody other than probably the people in Yorktown saw that this was coming the way that it has evolved, and 4-0 start, and for him to fit right in and put up the numbers that he's put up. That's not an easy thing to do, come back your senior year. But Coach Pavel, Coach Nardone have done a great job of plugging him in.
Absolutely.
And it's been a seamless transition.
Yeah, credit to them.
Yeah, credit to them, credit to the parents. And now we got a lot of excitement here about the player of the week for the girls.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's good. The thing about girls basketball sometimes is that it tends to be a lot of the same players.
Yes.
Kendall Koenigsberg of Blindberg is going to be in the mix every single week. But this is a big week for her. Commits to Colgate. We said in the first show about her, I thought she was on track to go to NYU. #1 team in the country, but Division III. She had her sights set on Division I. She worked for it, and she earned it. And she got her Division I opportunity.
That's fantastic.
And she had opportunities, but she made her commitment to Colgate and then followed it up by scoring 29 points in a win over Dobbs on Wednesday. She had 39 the day before against Valhalla, and she's now officially the male or female all-time leading scorer in Blindberg history with 1,690 points. So knocking on the door at 2,000 by the end of the season, and maybe by the end of the next month, she has a chance to do it.
You obviously had an older sister that played collegiately as well. We hit on the fact that mom was a Division 3 sport, Division I athlete. For her to get to Division I out of a small school is an outstanding accomplishment.
Yep.
And her best basketball is going to be ahead of her.
I mean, it's a small school. Blindbrook is tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean,
Played
you're in the
Northeast Elite.
district.
Travels does played on a very talented Northeast Elite team. So
Yes.
a lot of those, they have 5 Division I players, I think.
Absolutely.
On that team now.
That group of Northeast Elite, that team, very
Special.
good.
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
absolutely.
one of the things I love when it comes to girls basketball is when someone like Kendall breaks the record, period.
Yeah.
Not the girl scoring record, but the boys. Like, listen, I am the leading scorer in this gym,
Yeah.
regardless of gender.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I love that about
And
how
she's
that's happening.
deserving of it.
Oh,
she's
she
not.
is.
She's not a
She's put
compiler.
the time in.
She's not. She's definitely deserving of.
And by the way, there's some really good players on that wall in Blindbrook.
yeah,
There's some
a lot of
people.
4-year starters.
A lot
on
of
that team.
4-year varsity standouts. A lot of people, as my son Christopher says, that made the 4, all league, all conference, all section, all state. We call about making the 4.
Yeah.
And obviously Kendall will make the 4 again. And so it's for her to be the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
That's a really special thing.
Totally.
Good for her.
Yeah. Next is Ali Kaminsky from RC Ketchum. Now, Albertus Magnus is going to, as we started the show, dominate the headlines in Class AAA. Don't kind of catch him. And the reason being is that the talent they have as a team, but Ali Kaminsky just has really matured into that floor general leader player because she has a lot of talent around her. She has great shooters. Jacayla Cook inside is just a dominant presence, and Jacayla Cook's athleticism for a player her size, over 6'2", 6'1", she is just so smooth and so good. And Ali Kaminsky has really learned how to facilitate the ball to her, run the point, also knock down 3. She had 5 3-pointers in the win.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They beat Mayapack on Thursday. That's following up a 23-12 and 7 assist win in a win over Clarkstown South, a 20-point win over Clarkstown South. She was fantastic in that game. So Ketchum's 2-0. They're probably going to win this Somers tournament this weekend, and they're on their way to quietly being the team that Albertus Magnus should be very scared of.
So, Kevin, is that group? That Ketchum group, is that the group that's back from last year, basically their core from last year?
Yeah, a lot of the players back from last year. The core, they graduated a couple players, but so this is like sort of been a group that's been coming along, and
They got to the
head
section.
coach,
Remind me, section final last year. They lost to Albertus in the section final.
I think yes,
Or
I think they did.
section
Was that
final,
2 years ago?
yeah.
So no, they are excellent,
And their coach does a great job.
Pat
I don't know.
Mealy-
Yeah,
Pat
what's
Mealy
his?
Pat Mealy does an amazing job.
Yeah, does a fantastic job.
Coach Mealy, in preparation and just they run a lot of good stuff.
They run
We should
good
watch
stuff.
what
I've
they do.
seen them at the county center, John. He's organized. They're definitive roles. They share the ball. They're very skilled. It should be very. I think they're on a collision course with Albertus.
Yeah, they are.
In March,
they are excellent.
late February.
Yes.
Listen, I love a good floor general. I think it's a lost art and very important.
Yeah, so they did lose to Albertus Magnus last year at the county center. You're right. So
I was at that
forgive me.
game. I was at that game.
It's very rare that you get me the thing is, like, I've been doing this a few years, so it all kind of blends together.
I was.
Wait, the battle of the elephant brains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
His big elephant brain's a lot bigger than mine.
Coach gets this one. The computer had to make it right. Kevin, good for you to take that on the chin.
We go to outside of Section 1, go to Kennedy Catholic. Reese Carlo. So I think she's one of 4 sisters who played for.
I know the family.
Yeah, four girls.
Yeah, three or 4. Yeah. So and then the cousin and all that stuff.
Cousin. That's right. Okay.
So they're the basketball playing Carlo ladies, daughters, sisters. Yeah, comes from a great basketball family, and we know. Yeah,
Reese committed in the fall to play at Manhattanville. She had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a win over Holy Trinity on Tuesday. Kennedy Catholic has their holiday tournament this weekend. Actually, they had their first game last night. They beat Marie Regina. Carlo, 25 points, 5 assists. She's been excellent. She's really been good.
She can score the ball.
Yeah, and listen, they've had a lot of changes in the last 12 months in the program.
Yes, they have.
Players come and going. So, but the Carlos have been a consistent part of this, and she's off to a great start.
Her older sister is a senior now at Babson.
Okay.
And has had a really good career up there.
Yep. So they're.
What are you smiling about?
I was smiling because I'm trying to figure out if you have a computer in that brain of yours.
She and my son are the same age.
Okay.
It's amazing how you
Reese
remember all this
Carlo's our
stuff.
third. So Kendall, Kaminsky, Carlo.
All right, so Coach,
Okay.
we'll go with you first. Who's your choice?
I'm gonna go with Kendall Konigsberg because of the fact that, to come out of Blind Brook and to commit to an outstanding institution at Division I level and become the all-time leading scorer and put up the numbers she's put up and been obviously the type of player for her teammates as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to make her my player of the week.
I'm glad you did that because then it doesn't look like favoritism that I'm picking her. So I'm going to go with Dutch. No one ever picks Dutchess County. I'm going to go Allie Kaminsky. I saw the numbers she put up in the first game, and then I watched the game on Thursday night against Mayapack in the tournament, and I was blown away. The way she runs the floor, the way she sees the floor, little things. And then, she just pops in 5 threes. So she is terrific. And her ability to drive to the basket and draw contact and finish was also something that was pretty special.
Is she a senior this year
Yes.
as well? Now, do you know anything? Have you talked to Coach about her recruitment, or she want to play at the collegiate level?
I have not. I'll talk to Coach Pat before next week.
Okay.
But Coach Pat and I talk all the time. So
Okay.
great.
Yeah, I would like to find out who's recruiting Allie. Because if I remember her correctly, she was an outstanding player, and obviously she's gotten better. And anytime that I see a young lady that's a lead scorer for a team have 7 assists in a game,
Especially in high school sports.
Absolutely.
Especially in today's game.
It warms my heart.
Yeah. Now listen, it's we're talking about basketball. Basketball is a team game. It's not just a one player. Okay, although Kobe did say that there's a me in team, but there's no I in team. So now, without the team, there would be no game. Kevin, why don't we kick off the team of the week?
All right, so I had the great pleasure. My son plays CYO basketball, and the head coach is Matt Bax, who used to be the coach at Clarkstown South. So we have an elite level,
Outstanding
for
high
third-grade
school-
boys
oh my
basketball.
God, great
As good as it
coach.
get. Our assistant
Another
coach
great
also
coach.
coaches high school basketball, and it's Sean Ston, and he got to come into the gym the other day after they won. Obama beat Roosevelt for their 3rd Yonkers City championship in a row, and one thing I learned at Media Day is how much we had Saunders, YMA, Obama, Roosevelt. I think that was the 8 Yonkers schools were there.
Yep.
They all talked about how much winning the Yonkers City Championship means to them.
It's a big
and
to-do
it's
for
a
the-
huge deal for Obama to do it, and for one of the smaller schools to do it, the two non-class A
And they
AA
beat
schools.
Roosevelt in the final, who we talked about
and
last
one
week.
of the things we did our games of the week to watch, and we talked about Roosevelt's game against Eastchester because it was a measuring stick game for Class AA. They beat Eastchester. I said we were right on, but Obama beat them. So it says a lot, and it was a great environment at Yonkers High School. Eli Mitchell has really come along. They graduated some players, had a player transfer out to a prep school, but Obama and Coach Sean Ston just kind of keeps things going. 20 points, 4 assists in that final win over Roosevelt.
They were fantastic. His X factor is Ibrahima Jabi, whose brother is at the prep school,
yes,
post-grad. Sedaya?
Yep.
Sedaya.
Sedaya, yep.
Sedaya. He hit 6'2" freshman, John. Came off the bench and hit 3 threes. He's very skilled. They're very excited about him. Obviously, Eli Mitchell, Jordan Merrill, Rosso, Hunter, they're all really good players. They all fit a role. And I want to shout out to Zach Stelzner, his assistant, who does yeoman's work for him, and to Coach Devon Jordan as well. Amazing what they do. And Sean has a family. It's a family. He takes care of those kids like they're his own.
Well, they won the game, and so they were lifting up his 3rd grade son, SJ.
Yeah.
Lit up in the air. The 2nd year in a row they did it, and all
And
the
he held
players
the
were there.
trophy.
He held the trophy, so it's a cool thing. Great.
I love that. By the way, Coach, I did talk to Pat Riley. You guys can do the 3P T-shirts without any licensing fees. He agrees you earned it, you deserve it, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, great thing, especially in the city with the new team. And it's pretty impressive to do it.
Absolutely.
Basically, it's not like a run Italian. He's got a new team. Other team, we're gonna skip down to my 3rd team here, but Somers 4-0. Coach James Logren, he heart and soul, man, heart and soul. If
He
you
loves
follow him on
his-
Twitter, you know how much he agonizes after losses. How much he's trying to build at Somers. It's really hard, and I don't think there's got to be a direct correlation with the fact that they're 4-0. To start the season, and football didn't take them into December. So maybe he's able to get some of these football guys in, including Chris Decker, who's off to a great start. 22 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in the first 3 contests. And then he's had, Carrier Martin had 23 points. So Somers is 4-0 and in the mix in Class A. They're not double A. Everyone thinks they're double A. They're Class A this year. They're gonna be right there at the Poly tournament this weekend. So a lot to prove for this team.
James Loughran loves his kids.
Yeah.
And wears his heart, John, on his sleeve. He loves, he agonizes over every loss.
Yeah.
He celebrates every win. He's red and white to the core. He loves, and he does a really good job of putting his kids. He runs good stuff as well.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
young, dynamic personality coach.
They've had great athletes in the last few years who are maybe, as you said, football players, but like he really hasn't had like that basketball team like they had that went to the county center a couple years
with
ago.
Chris DeCinio.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now he's got this program. Seems like on the right track again, which is
He's got
great.
some kids that can play.
Yeah, definitely. Our last team was North Rockland, who's they got some kids who can play too.
Oh.
So North Rockland's kind of like this faceless giant sometimes in basketball. Is that they've always been good, but Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, White Plains, they can never be with the top programs until the last few years. They won the section championship 2 years ago. Last year they went to the section final, took New Rochelle to the brink. With this style of play that, as we said, I mean they're probably the deepest team in Section 1 right now, and I'm gonna say it again this year. But Mamaroneck is still my team to beat to win the championship because they have the star power. I think North Rockland might have a little star power as well, but they have a lot more depth. So it's going to be interesting to see how this season unfolds because right now North Rockland is completely dominated. 6-0 start to the year. They have John Jay's Fish on Friday night, so they will almost certainly get to 7-0. They've won all but one game by 20 points or more. Their closest game was a 16-point win over Arlington on the road. They are completely, on both ends of the court, as complete a team as there is. Coach, you watched the first half of that game at John Jay.
I only needed to see the first half.
I know.
They play their asses off.
This is our good coach's corner spot here now.
They're unselfish.
Because somebody said to me, they go, how are they this good? What who do they have? Is what they want to know. Aaron Rivera has been great. Elon Elias has been great. But from an X's and O's standpoint, Coach.
I mean, Jamie, they guard. I hate. I'm not allowed to say hate. I'm going to say it anyway. I hate guard your yard man to man. Drives me crazy. They play and control gaps. They help in rotations. They take charges. Mm-hmm. They're in help side. If you don't move the ball, you're gonna have a tough night. And they're physical. They got a hand on you, and they get up in you and guard you. And then they're seeing the floor. They don't deny it on the wing, but they play the gaps and they don't let you get in the paint.
Yeah,
and then they contest everything outside.
We North Rockland is our coach's corners team. So we'll break that down after we get through the players of the week. We're very interested to see how you could break down those X and O's.
They are very similar to like a high level, and it's weird to say this, you're comparing a high school team to an AAU team, and some coaches might think that's like a knock. But what my point is that if you're on the court and you're not doing the job, someone's going to go in for you that can. And
As
that's
it should be.
a lot of times in high school you don't have that luxury. You don't have players in the bench who can go in. That's what North Rockland makes them so good. So those are our three teams of the week for the boys.
Okay, so now we get down to it. We'll go with Kevin first. What's your vote?
Man, give me North Rockland all day. I just feel like this how well they've played so far, and how much they've dominated. I think Mamaroneck and Mount Vernon, the teams that we're probably putting at the top of the class in AAA, you got to make room for North Rockland. They're right there with them.
Kevin, by the way, has no bias to Rockland anything. You could see like he doesn't really smile when he brings up Rockland in this show at all.
County.
So in that scenario,
Yeah.
Coach, who's your pick?
My pick is going to be the Obama School. I think Coach Sean Staun is not just a great basketball coach. He's a great human being. He's a great family man. What he's built over there from the ground up. I remember, Kevin, we remember when he started over there.
He won a section championship. In his
He
first
won a
couple years,
section. Yeah, John. He built this from the ground up. He's the guy in the program there.
Yeah.
And for them to win 3 city championships in a row, and to do it with different personnel, different teams, and to beat a physically imposing Roosevelt team, he's my team of the week. That's Obama School's our team of the week for me.
Okay.
All right.
The Lightning.
Yes.
I like it. So we will never forget about the girls basketball because we are all girl dads up here. As well as boy dads. So team of the week for
We
the
had
girls.
a 3-peat on the boys' side in the city of Yonkers. We have a 5-peat on the girls' side with YMA. Yonkers Montessori, defending Section 1 Class B champions. It's time, I think, we take them serious as a program. So last year's team won the section championship in Class B, and you could say, oh, well, Class B is not what it was. It's a smaller class. They only had to beat Blindbrook and Dobbs Ferry. They're good. They beat up Tuckahoe this week. I mean, they took it to them. I mean, it was a 4-point game for the first quarter. They were winning, and Tuckahoe felt they kind of controlled things early on, and then YMA just ran away from the second quarter on. This team has as much depth, and when you go outside of Class AAA, depth is not a luxury many teams have. YMA has it. YMA might have as talented a bench as any team in the section outside of the large schools. So I think what Coach Eli Moyes has done with this program, and again, talking about a guy who built it from the ground up.
You better believe it.
YMA was nothing
before he got there.
And what he's done to win 5 city championships in a row, and basically in 5 years has not played a close game. I mean, they have just completely run away with everybody. Emily Doherty, 15 points, MVP effort. And then they go on. She had 23 points in the win over Tuckahoe. Now, Tuckahoe is like kind of held in this regard of being like this small school anomaly. They're so such, Class C. They're just completely dominant. But YMA is not much larger. I know they're in a different class, but not that much larger number-wise.
Right.
And
just a couple of students.
72-43. It's like that's not competitive.
No.
Marcella Mustafa, 13 points. Grace Gleason. I love Grace Gleason's game. Liliana Toro, great point guard, 11 points in the win over Tuckahoe. That was a full team win. Eli Moyes must be thrilled about that.
That's a statement win.
Yeah.
You're talking about a Tuckahoe girls team, John, that has been back-to-back Final Fours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and for them to make to beat Tuckahoe like that,
is a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course I love 4 girls in double figures.
Mm-hmm.
I love the balanced scoring. Is the Mustafa girl, is she related to the young lady who played at Ursuline back in the day?
I'm not sure. You put me on the spot now twice in the show.
All right,
we got to talk about it. Our pre-show discussion's got to be. I'll put me on the spot in the show.
All right, my bad. But
challenge. No. Listen, this is great because if we were to have like a stump show.
Yeah.
Is it
Chris would be winning.
Right. Stump Kevin or
I would
Chris.
assume that they're related somehow because, they both are players that, have the same last name, and you figure that they probably play together and they're from the same family, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay.
Our next team of the week, Bronxville. 4-0 Bronxville. Another team that they didn't have varsity basketball like 6 years ago. And now here they are. Vic Carolla, the head coach, former Iona Prep coach. He takes over this program. They're 4-0. They beat Woodlands, and they won the first round of the tournament. They beat Yorktown in the tournament championship. They do it at the buzzer, and they did it in a pretty impressive way. Emily Fahey on offensive rebound, put back, just turned, fired up at the glass, goes in. They win, and they beat a large school program, AA team. I mean, for Bronxville to do that's pretty impressive. She had 21 points. Gabby Ramirez had 10 points for Yorktown in that win, and they've done it. Claire Kennedy's been great. She had 21 points in the win over Byram Hills, and that's what they beat in the first round game. And then Kennedy had 21 points in the win over Eastchester. So I'm impressed with Bronxville. I know again they're in a very competitive class in Class A.
Absolutely.
They're just over the number.
They're Class A now.
Yeah, they're just over the number for Class A to be.
By 2 students?
Not by the many. They're Class C football state champions, but they're Class B in girls basketball.
Okay,
so it goes to show you just how the numbers vary sport to sport, and obviously it's 5 classes in 6 classes in girls basketball. So no, I'm impressed. I think they're a team that Pro River, Pelham on the girls' side. Tappan Z's the team to beat in Class A. But Bronxville's just right there, 4-0.
4-0 is a great start.
Yep.
Really great start.
Another team, what do you got, Coach?
No, I'm impressed the fact that Fahey, Kennedy, and Ramirez all score the ball.
Yeah.
And to have 3, we talked about, remember we talked about, you need to have 3 kids that can score it, either on the boys or girls side. If they've got 3 that can score it, they're a problem. And Coach Vic, I'm sure, is coaching them up over
He's
there.
loving it. I mean, you watch the highlight of them winning at the buzzer. He was had a big smile on his face, and he's kind of kind of a mellow guy, kind of a quiet guy. And he's really enjoying coaching.
And by the way, he's a girl dad too, and his daughter was a pretty damn good player.
Yeah, she was Ursuline. Yeah, they're related. That I know for sure. Yeah.
Mamaroneck
put him out right away. Mamaroneck is our last team of the week. It was tough. They lose to Nyack at home in the tournament. They played pretty poor. Part of me, I don't ever say we'll write off a loss. I think that was probably kind of like a refocus game because I think they were looking ahead to Tuesday to play Ursuline.
Right.
And they felt this was their year. We sort of foreshadowed this. We put this as one of our games to watch for the following week because, this was a measuring stick game for Mamaroneck. Don't want to beat Ursuline or never beaten Ursuline in the program's history, according to the school. They go and they do it in dramatic fashion. So Ursula was at the line, had a chance to go ahead. They missed the free throw. So the timeout, they get to inbound the ball in front of their bench. They lob it up to Addie Dorfman, and she catches it, makes the basket. Then Ursuline doesn't call timeout. They want to inbound and try and go up the court quick. And with like under a second to go, Addie Dorfman scores a basket, doesn't celebrate, runs back on defense, blocks a shot at half court, and that's how it ended. Great win for them. Just awesome for those girls. Emmy Resendez was terrific in the game as well. Dorfman had 17 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, and then 2 blocks. And Resendez is only a sophomore, 14 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. Awesome.
I've lived here since 2002, 2003 season. Mamaroneck girls had never come close to even getting near Ursuline in all the years that I can remember. So this is a huge win for that program.
Totally.
That coach has been there how long now?
Beth Wooters?
Yes. No. Beth Wooters. I know.
Oh, Yusef
40
Yeiser.
years.
Keith Yeiser's late Keith Yeiser's son. I think this is 6th or 7th year.
He's worked his tail off to build this because before he got there, wasn't pretty.
Yeah, it was not pretty.
And so I'm happy for Emmy. Obviously, I've known Emmy for a long time, and happy for their family, and happy for Mamaroneck to get that done. And that's a huge win, John, for that program. And it puts their basketball, the girls basketball program, now at a different level. So now that expectation is going to be different.
Of course.
As it should be. All right, Coach. Who's your choice?
I'm going to go with Mamaroneck because of the fact that that's to lose at home. That was the tournament game at home. To lose that game and then to bounce back and turn around and get it done and not make it an 0-2 week or weekend is a credit to coach and the players. And like I said, for them to beat Ursuline or Ursuline, however you want to pronounce it, and Beth Wooters, the legend that she is, that's my team of the week.
I'm going to go with YMA. Coach Eli Moyes, as I said, Dr. Eli Moyes, gave me doctor this season. Yeah. So, and just for what the program he's built, 100 wins now. I think it was the Tuckahoe Women's 100. He's over 101 now with their win over Putnam Valley. Beat Putnam Valley now twice, which is basically, kind of really positions them to be the clear team to beat in Class B. Sure. Blindbrook's going to be with them as well. But one thing, this is like the little footnote that you don't, some people probably miss this. So YMA, obviously they've great talent, from the varsity level, and they're kind of like, there's freshmen, there's sophomores. Their JV, the first time we're talking about JV on the show, they lost 51-3 to Putnam Valley to start the season. Right? They played them again yesterday, and they beat them. So
what?
That isn't
but now time out. By how much though, Kev?
They beat them 51-3 the first time. They came back, won in double overtime, 57-54.
Good for them.
That's an
insane.
That's an insane turnaround.
That is a 50-some-odd point turnaround.
Yeah, to go and 51-3.
It's amazing.
Use 3 points on JV basketball. Like, there's got to be players on that team that think themselves like, is this the sport for me?
Yeah.
Right. And then they go back and beat that team.
Right. That's amazing. Credit to their JV.
Yeah.
Yes, credit to that story is amazing because you know what I was going to bring up on social media segment that I saw this week. There was a team and I forget who it was. They lost 104-1, and I was like, how is that possible?
You shoot a free throw
in an AAU game, right? Yeah. Well, that's how you guys at 1 point. But yeah, to turn around that case there, shoot a free throw. I see. Coach has been giving it to Kevin all day, so Kevin's going to give it to me. And on that note,
that's great.
We have all the picks of the week. Our vote does not count whatsoever. On social media, it'll be up there. We want to hear from you guys. Pick your player of the week. Pick your team of the week. Let's see if you match up with Coach or Kevin, and then we'll see which one of you guys were right on next episode. Now we're going to move to a segment that I love, Coach's Corner. But if you watch the last 2 episodes, we had a different Coach's Corner. We revamped it because we were not taking advantage of actually the coach he is Mr. Basketball for not just Westchester basketball, but throughout AAU.
Very sweet.
Your talent of calling games and X's and O's is something that I've always admired. And we'd like you to break down one of our teams of the week here at North Rockland.
So I saw Coach Jamie Ryan's North Rockland team. I thought they were fantastic. They are unselfish. They share the ball. They play you man-to-man full court. They run some 2-2-1. They'll show that. What was impressive was closeouts, how they close out on the ball, and then their physicality with regard to constant. They were always like within arm's length, and they're up in, and then they guard you off the bounce. Then they take away gap. They gap control it. Outstanding. I want to make sure that I say this the right way, because he's got a point guard who came up from JV last year, who I really like. Number 2, Sidney McMurrin. He's a junior. He put him right on the ball, and he's done a great job. Sidney's done a great job of running that team. Aaron Rivera can shoot it, number 15. He's outstanding. They've got Aiden Pignard. They've got Ihan Ilias. Both of them are what, Kevin, 6'3"?
Yeah.
John, 6'3", long and athletic. I think that Ihan, like to Kevin's point, off the mid-range, he puts it up off. They ran an elevator play for him. He caught off the mid-range, hit it. He hit the 3 in the corner. McMurrin can shoot it. They share it. They've got another kid who I love, LaShawn Good, who's their inside presence, 6'5". He's a face-up kid, rebounds it, runs the floor, can catch and finish in transition. They share. I was impressed of how they hunted. What we call it in the coach's world. We hunt for the great shot. We're hunting for the best shot. They seek and hunt the best shot.
So, Coach, in that game that you watched, what does that mean? Hunt for the great shot. When you watch that game,
the ball. So getting to the right places when they run their actions against man to man, and then making the extra pass. So they'll make the hockey assist for the direct assist. So they'll make the 2 passes extra to find the open shot.
Yeah.
And they're selfless in the way that they play. And Jamie always does a great job with them. Coach Ryan always does a great job with them.
I've had a lot of coaches come on to broadcast. Went to Local Live, and obviously with Sports Engine coaches. I bring on coaches for the game broadcast because I want someone to do the analysis of the game. Right. I don't know if I've ever had a coach who I was more impressed with, like his knowledge, and not just like knowledge of the teams and the history. Just like literally watching the inbound and him saying, "Okay, here's what they're doing." He knew right. It was Jamie Ryan. Absolutely. I don't think maybe even you can go all sports. I think he might be. Maybe he's just a great broadcaster. But he was so good at identifying right away something in a game. And to me, I'm like, man, if anyone ever had a doubt of what a great coach he was, just listen to him. On a broadcast of another team. He did the section championship 2 years ago, Mount Vernon, Rochelle, and I couldn't have been more impressed.
And I want to give a shout out to Alex Casada, number 3, their 6th man. Comes off the bench, gives them some length. They just play so hard. And that's a credit to Jamie, Coach Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this about Rockland County. Great cradle of coaches over there. I mean, there's one great coach after another. They're all really good coaches.
Yeah, you don't have
Rockland.
a big advantage coaching wise.
No,
if you're a great coach, because
it basically comes. It's going to come down to players over there, because that whole group of coaches over there on the boys' side, and I think it's getting that way on the girls' side, but certainly on the boys' side.
Yeah.
It's there.
There's no weakness.
There's no weaknesses.
Yeah.
You're going up against really good teacher coaches.
Totally.
which is great. So, Coach, thank you for that. Each week, we're going to give Coach a game to watch and break it down from the X and O's to do something that Kevin and I can't do at his level, and we appreciate that, Coach. And now I'm starting to really love this segment because the Swami is really putting together. You have not been off on your actual games to watch. So this segment, which we call the KDJ Games to watch of the week, the holiday edition. And Kevin, give us a breakdown of who we should be watching.
I don't have a lot this week. I only said because it's a hard week because it's obviously holiday
According
week.
to this list,
no, I have a lot. There's games listed here. No, yeah. I'm joking. I'm just playing off the intro. The holiday week doesn't have a full slate of games, but Monday does have some good games on the boys' side. Rye's going to go to Harrison. Rye goes to the section championship the last two seasons. They bring back great talent, Carson Miller, Henry Shoemaker, all these guys. They're just not playing great. So I think if Harris is going to go and beat them, it's going to be at home. Matt McCoy, just terrific all-around scorer. And Matt McCoy has a chance to get that big win in his career, and it could be against Rye on Monday, 5 p.m.
Big rivalry.
Yeah, huge rivalry game. It's going to be packed crowd,
we
holiday
talked about
week, 5 o'clock on a Monday. That sounds a lot of fun.
I mean, as you know, Claudio, our producer here, he's a big Harrison athlete. So.
Claudio, we talked about it. 500 people show up for Tiddlywinks if it's Rye versus Harrison.
Totally.
So,
when it's White Plains and New Rochelle, that game's on Tuesday at New Rochelle. Be a big one. We've talked about New Rochelle a lot in this show last couple weeks and how well they've played to start the season. Looking to get that another final statement win of the 2025 season after winning the section championship in March. Clarkstown North going to Suffern is a big matchup. Clarkstown North, they're kind of licking their wounds after a tough loss to Pearl River this week. They're going to go to Suffern in a game that really matters. Class AA versus Class AA. Yep. They want to prove they belong. That's Tuesday night at Suffern. Steppenak's taking on Monteverdi. We're totally changing gears here to the Jordan Classic Games after the holiday on the 27th, 3:30 p.m. That is probably one of the marquee games of that of an unbelievable event. And then we have a matchup that just kind of snuck in here a little bit. Mount Vernon going to go to Iona Prep on the 29th.
I talked to Coach Phillip. I called in a favor, so he's going to. I said, I'll pay for the ticket, Coach. I don't want a free ticket.
Just want a seat.
But I just need a seat.
So
I want to try to get to that game for our podcast.
Maybe me and you work out a way where me and you work that game broadcast together, because I think that might be worth a winning moments, little presence there at Iona Prep to do that game.
Well, Coach Devaney, I'd be honored.
I'll bring a headset and sanitizer, and you'll be all set.
I'd be honored, Coach.
I'll be there to take the pictures as your social media intern.
Those are my boys' games to watch this week, and then obviously the second and third is a slam dunk, but hopefully we're gonna have a show between then.
Yes. So. Where can we? Which one of these games can you watch on Sports Engine?
You can watch the game at Harrison. You can watch the game at Suffern, and then Iona Prep game, and then I think Steppenak Monteverdi is going to be on some national, maybe Baller TV or something like that.
Well, listen, that Jordan Classic.
You just go to that one.
You can go to the Jordan Classic. It is in Brooklyn. It is brought to you by Made Hoops. Okay, other local Westchester
good
heroes
friend,
we're talking
Chad
about. Yeah. Chad and Kyle, the brothers that are rocking out for kids basketball. And another athlete that was part of Eastchester we talked about pre-show. We gave a little shout out to a Coach Ward trained Kevin Devaney reported.
Yeah, chronicles Mickey Abatello.
Yeah.
Mickey Abatello, former Eastchester standout, Baruch College standout as well. So great college player, really good player. Left once again. Another lefty.
Yeah. So let me tell you something. You're absolutely right. And
so many lefties
People
today.
drive down Route 22 or Wilmot Road off Route 22 in Eastchester. You drive down. There's a house in his backyard. Small, not a huge backyard, but a small backyard with a full court basketball net, glass backboards. People say, whose house is that? Abatello's.
Mickey Abatello.
Yeah,
His dad, absolutely.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, the Jordan Classic is going to be great in Brooklyn. You guys should go check it out by Made Hoops. Okay, what do we got on the girls' side?
On the girls' side, Harrison is at Rye on Monday, so they're going to be splitting the admissions there for the fans. That's a big one. And then there's really not a lot of great marquee games, but Albertus Magnus is hosting their McNichol Christmas tournament. That has Ursuline and Clarkstown South, Tappan Zee, and Albertus Magnus. Tuckahoe and Albertus Magnus. So those matchups. So you get a bunch of great games out of that. 4 great games out of that. How they all match up. The Mayapack tournament's going to be good this year. Hen Hud, Putt Valley, Mayapack, Arlington. So 2 days of that on the 29th and 30th after Christmas. And then Pelham. I think we're going to get John Jay's Fish going Pelham. Pelham's a very, very talented team, considering that another season of unfortunate injuries for them, but they're still very much in the mix in Class A as well.
Awesome.
And giving a shout out to our future partner, Sports Engine. Which ones these games can we watch?
You can watch the games at Mayapack, and you obviously watch Rye Harrison. Those are the ones you can watch.
All right, listen. For all of you schools who do not have Sports Engine, okay, you need to look into it. Because not only can we watch these games live, but the tools it has to cut out the clips we will be showing throughout this episode are all brought to you by Sports Engine. It is a really phenomenal tool to use, and coaches I highly recommend in schools to look into it. And if you need any help, reach out to me. I know a great guy at Sports Engine. I'll get you hooked up. Highest level VIP.
Absolutely.
Listen, this has been a phenomenal show. I mean, the battle of the elephant brains is what I'm gonna call it right now.
Yeah.
Swami over here to my right, just killing it, guys.
And then also, him giving us a lesson in journalism 101. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
how a team can score 1 point.
for how to.
Some of us learned the hard way.
I'm glad I learned from you now instead of from the hard way. Back in the day.
Yeah. No. Of course.
Listen, we thank all of you for watching. We are now on Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcasts and listen to your podcasts. So please like and subscribe. Share this with everybody. We just want to keep promoting the kids' sports. Coaches, reach out to us on Instagram, email, through the show. You'll see in our notes how you can reach any of us. We're happy to cover the games and the highlights. Everybody have an amazing, amazing holiday, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Claudio. Appreciate you,
Yeah.
as always.